Today is Saturday, April 11th, 2015, and this is the Bunny Slippers Are Evil Job Seekers Call-In Show, presented by Evil Bunny Consulting. I'm your host, Tyrone Griffin, and if it's 3 p.m. and you have on your bunny slippers, you are not looking for a job. Welcome first-time and returning listeners. In this show, we discuss strategies and tactics of job search, staying motivated and dealing with career transition. For more tips, resources, daily motivations, and to listen to archive shows, go to the website bunnyslippersareevil.com. There you will also find links to the show's Facebook page and Twitter handle. If you're listening live, you can call in with your questions at 347-202-0929. Again, that number is 347-202-0929. Now, a word from our sponsors. Evil Bunny Consulting is the alternative to expensive outplacement. They give job seeker workshops as well as the one-on-one job seeker boot camp with a money-back guarantee. If you don't find it useful, boo. Money-back guarantee if you don't find it useful. I've been doing this for so long that I should have messed it up. Anyway, for more information, go to www.bunnyslippersareevil.com. Resume Edit is the low-cost, high-quality resume writing company with resumes as low as $35 written by certified resume writers. You can find them online at www.resume4edit.com or call 404-860-2473. And be sure to tell them you heard about them on the Bunny Slippers Are Evil Job Seekers podcast. Resume Edit is a low-cost, high-quality resume writing company with, Let 3dresumes.net turn your resume into a web page with a customized domain for 12 months for only $30. Help hiring managers and recruiters find you, make your resume available 24/7, and get a professional, personalized email address just for your job search. You can see my online resume at tyronegriffin.com, and for more information on how to get your own, go to 3dresumes.net. If you're thinking or about to look for a job in today's world, you will find a new reality in the job search process. The world has changed. Job search today is much more complicated than 5 years ago. Volumes of resumes, more applicant screening systems, depersonalized application, panel interviews, team hiring, long complicated process applications, branding, and social media. Yes, the world has changed, but have you? And are you still trying yesterday's approach? Why struggle and miss out on today's opportunities? Career Oyster is here to help you. Great coaches, the latest resources, unique strategies personally tailored to your job search. Find out the new reality and how you can prevent costly mistakes. To register for a free 45-minute session, go to careeroyster.com and register for a complimentary private session with our head coach, Howard Caddy. Find out the facts now. You'll be glad you did. Remember their motto, the world is your oyster, be the pearl. Well, good morning, everybody. Again, thank you. And I apologize. You think after doing the show for 5 years, I would get the intros right. And I still mess it up from time to time. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the feedback. If you're only listening to the audio of this show, you really are missing half the show. We do it on video, and usually right on the podcast page on the website, you'll see a link to the audio as well as a link for the video version. So you get to see my lovely face. You get to see me scratch my head and look at my notes and make funny faces and all kinds of weird stuff. But yeah, check out the video. And also, we're doing the 1-minute bunny tips now. And those are, for those of you who don't know, those are just take a 30-minute show and compress it to 1 minute. That's basically what the bunny tip is. It takes one issue, one topic, and I talk about it for just 1 minute. And for that 1 minute, that's all you got. And I did something with the brightness on this thing, and I'm trying to get it back. Here we go. It's funny, this past week I took a picture for a passport. This is totally off topic. And for those of you who don't know, I'm an African American, and I'm rich, chocolatey brown. And it was so funny trying to get that passport picture right because of shadows and everything. And I just was reminded of that because I'm playing around with the brightness on this screen that I'm recording myself on. Anyway, for the first timers, yeah, that's how this show is sometimes. I just go off in a rat hole and Sometimes I don't come out of it, but I usually try to stay on topic pretty much. I actually do write notes a lot of times for the show. So, anyway, enough of that. But like I was saying before I ran off onto that whole excuse me, on a passport issue, doing 1 minute bunny tips now, videos, and they're designed for those situations where you don't have time to listen to a full half-hour show. Maybe you're about to run into an interview, any number of things, and you just want something, you have a question on something, and you want to be reminded of how to do something. So those are the bunny tips are, and I post a couple a week, and they're still up there. You can find a link to it on the, excuse me, you can find a link to the bunny tips on the website. So check out the bunny tips. So with that, let's get into today's show. We've talked about LinkedIn in the past. A couple of times I've had people on here talk about LinkedIn, but still I'm still finding there are people who either A, don't understand it, or B, aren't utilizing it to their fullest potential. Now I'm not talking about the free versus paid version. I'm cheap, so I've always used the free version because I'm cheap. And nothing against the paid version. We've had Keith Warwick come on at least once, I think maybe even twice, and he's an Excel guru. Not Excel, gosh, he's a LinkedIn guru, and maybe Excel too. I don't know, but he's talked about the premium, the paid version, and he kind of swears by it. And you know, go back and find that show. It's on the podcast page. You can see all the old shows and just look for the one with Keith Warwick. And he's a good guy, really good guy, and he knows LinkedIn extremely well. I mean, the reason he was on the show was because I sat in one of his workshops one time on LinkedIn, and I mean, he's good. He's good. That's all I can say about it. But anyway, what I'm saying is, even now, I still talk to people from time to time who are in job search, and excuse me, I have some phlegm, sorry. They're on LinkedIn, but they're not using LinkedIn. They have a profile. It's up there. But they're not. There's two parts of LinkedIn, and as I say, LinkedIn is like Facebook for grown folks. It's all about networking. Like for me, I have a Facebook page where I connected with all my high school friends, and for you youngins who don't know, when we left high school years ago, we didn't have email and all that stuff to keep up with people. So it's literally in the last few years, I'm literally finding people that I haven't talked to since high school. That's just the nature of it. So, I use Facebook, for keep in touch with us. And think about LinkedIn kind of that same way, where you're keeping up with people. You are connecting to people, but it's all about, everybody there is about business. This is about promoting business, about promoting ideas in business. Every now and then you'll see somebody will promote an article that's kind of, maybe not as business related as you might think, but I would venture to say literally 99% of everything going on there is about business. And if you're in job search and you're not actively using LinkedIn, and this is not a commercial for LinkedIn. Well, it kind of is, but I'm not getting paid by them. I'm just trying to tell you, how to use this tool that they built. It's like, draw an example of Facebook. It's like if you want to get in touch with people, if you want to get in touch with a whole lot of people, how would you do it? And the way you do it, Facebook is one of those ways where I say, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you get in touch with people. I'm not necessarily getting paid by Facebook. I'm just telling you how to use a tool that's out there. LinkedIn is a tool that's out there that you could definitely use to help your job search. So anyway, rambling. Let me talk about the things that I've talked about in the past. You can listen to some of the old shows, and because I don't want to spend the whole. I've spent in some of these shows. I spent like a whole episode, whole half hour talking about one aspect of LinkedIn, and I don't want to necessarily rehash that, but I just want to make sure I bring it up so that you know about it. One of the most important things for me of ways of using LinkedIn is to optimize your profile. When I say optimize your profile, there are a couple of 100 million users on LinkedIn, a couple of 100 million profiles out there that you can use. Some are good, some are bad. I mean, I've seen, I saw somebody, I don't know who it was, but they had Gumby, 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 as their profile picture. And it was cute and funny, haha. Wait till this person's got to look for a job and they forget that they have Gumby as their profile picture. People, number one rule with the internet, we tell our kids and we tell our grandkids, everything you put there is there forever. So, take it seriously. I've seen profile pictures that were, a couple, and the person's name, whoever the profile was for, his name was like Terry or something. So I swear I could not tell which of them it was. You don't want to do that either. But one of the things, and I talked about that in the past, about your profile picture. Just because the picture on you from Cabo San Lucas last summer was really nice, if it's not business, if you're in your bikini or whatever, don't put that on LinkedIn. That's not what it's for. If you have to go outside and take a selfie, do it. Or a lot of job networking meetings, at least here in the Atlanta area, a lot of the meetings will have photographers there, and they will take a picture for free and upload it, email it to you. That's one way to get the picture. So, anyway, first of all, is get your profile picture. Again, you don't have to have a professional photographer. If you have access to one, by all means. But there are many ways to get a good LinkedIn photo. So, first of all, is have a good business photo. That's your first impression with LinkedIn is definitely your photo. Somebody looks up your profile and they see your picture first. That's the first thing they're going to see before they read any part of your profile. And the last thing you want is them to see a picture of you that you flipped upside down because when you took it, you were upside down drinking from a bottle. What are those guns? Okay, I'll admit right now, I'm not a beer drinker just because I just never acquired the taste for it. But I've seen the thing where you stab the beer can and then suck all the beer out the bottom. If you got to picture yourself like that and you figure, oh, it's cool, it's funny, don't put that on your LinkedIn profile. Okay, so that's one of the first things. We've talked about that in the past, is your LinkedIn profile picture. Talked about getting recommendations from people. Get them. People you used to work with, people who you've done work with, or you've done work with in the past, or you've done presentations with, but get those presentations, because in LinkedIn you want to get your profile up to 100%. And one of the ways you get it up to 100% is by having a profile picture. And one of the others is to have recommendations. Go to past coworkers and ask for a recommendation on LinkedIn. Find them in LinkedIn and ask them. You can even help them write it. But those are the kind of things that look good on a profile. But that's another way you get up to 100%. We got to optimizing, and this is, to me, was something that's very important when you optimize your profile. What that means is you think about what you want somebody to search for if they found you, and don't overthink it. Say, for example, okay, if I wanted, we always talk about dating site, job searches like dating. So let me take it to dating. If you are on a online dating service, and I've never been on one, not bashing, I have the fear of somebody looking at my profile and not emailing me just freaks me out. But that's, my own issue. But if you're on an online dating site, I think people can search for people. It's not just a matter of just go line by line. You can search for people on the site. If I'm assuming, again, I don't know, you can use keywords. You go for somebody who's tall, whatever. So you think about from a dating standpoint, what is it you would want somebody, what keywords would you want somebody to be looking for when they found you? You know, if I run a dating site, I might say I want somebody to search on, I don't know, tall, dark, and handsome. Yeah, tall, dark, and handsome. And I want to pop up. Bing! Okay. So those would be hopefully my keywords for a dating site. So I would try to work those words into my profile on that site so that if somebody looked those words up, my picture would pop up. I'm telling you, if you're only seeing the audio, only listen to the audio, you're missing half this show. Anyway, so think about the same thing with LinkedIn. What are the keywords? What are your core competencies that you feel are your strengths? So you want somebody to look for you, to look and find you. You know, everybody's gonna, say, I'm a hard worker, I'm, motivated, and okay. If you're a business analyst and you use Excel or Access or what is that? That new, excuse me, visual analytics software called R, which I'm actually about to learn. But if you're doing any of those things, if you're a PMP or whatever, if those are the things that you want somebody to look for and find you, then those are the words you want to try to work into your profile. The words, because the way LinkedIn works, when somebody searches for somebody, it looks at the profiles and picks out the keywords there. So you want to optimize your profile for those words. Tell you a story I saw, and I remember we saw this in a workshop. And this guy's, say if it's, so for example, and I can't remember exactly what his keywords were, but say if his keyword was business analyst or project manager. He had repeated those words. Some of his job descriptions was just project manager, for example, 50 times over and over, over and over, over and over, over and over. That was all. That whole job description was just that one phrase over and over. Another job was another phrase over and over. So what happens is when you look up that phrase, he's going to pop up to the top. Somebody say he's gaming the system. Explain. He might, one hiring manager might see that and go, "Oh, that guy's smart. I want that guy on my team." And another hiring manager might look at that and say, "No, this guy's gaming the system. He's taking shortcuts. I don't like the way he's thinking. La 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 la. I don't want to be involved with him." So you never know how it's going to work. So I would just say this: be as honest as possible. There are ways to work a title, a phrase into your profile. And the simplest way to find out is to do a search on those words, those keywords, those phrases that you would want somebody to look up and find you. Once you've done that search and you see who comes up, look at the first 3 or 4 or 5 people's profiles and see how they have worked those phrases into their profile. Okay, see how they've done it. How they've done it in a way that's more natural. It's just they're just going through their profile and here's what I do. Okay, and see how they've worked those phrases in, and then you do the same and work those phrases into your profile in the same way. I'm not saying copy, plagiarize their profile, but look at the structure of it and see how they've done that. And then work your way into that. Now, the quick overview with LinkedIn optimization, every time it does a search, it's a live search. It doesn't go and pull a cache of the last search and and show you that again. It will do a live search. So I would say open up one window and do the search. One browser window and do the search. See what you come up with. Click on it, open up another window with your profile. Look at those profiles in that one window that you found, and then play with your profile to update some of the words, the phrases and everything. See where you came up first in the first search. See if you might have come up on the 5th page, say, and then go back and see who came up first. Go through their profile, look at it, see what you can do with it. and then optimize, change your profile around, add some more keywords, but do it in a regular language type of way. And then go back and run that search again and see if you've moved. And chances are you will have moved up a few pages maybe, or a few on the item a numbered list, moved up a few numbers. Okay, cool. Now you know what you're doing. Now go back and look at those profiles that came up and see what the differences are. And just try to minimize the differences. I'm not saying plagiarize. I'm saying look at the structure of those profiles and minimize the differences, because that's what the system is finding. And you want to be one of those people that it finds. So the best way to do it is to look and see what it's looking for. Again, take it back to dating. I always say, job search is like dating. Take it back to that. If women, men, or whatever are looking for young lady, okay, guys, go from this perspective. If you're in high school and all the pretty girls are looking for good grades, looking for guys with good grades, guess what? You go home and you start studying. Okay? Very simple. You see what it is that the system is looking for. And again, this is only half the battle. This is only getting LinkedIn to find you. This is not about actually getting a job or talking to recruiters. This is just putting yourself, setting the stage so that you can be found. Now, but again, there's a whole show on that, so I'm not gonna delve too far into it anymore. But now, one of the new things I found on LinkedIn, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, it's easier to apply for jobs in LinkedIn, and I think the difference, and it's different ways. Some will let you apply right there on LinkedIn, and you can click a button, and it'll say, "You want to add your resume? Add your resume." Boom, and it goes that quickly. You've applied for a job. Sometimes it'll say, "Apply for the job on the company's website," and it'll take you out to Taleo, and that nightmare. But the thing, so I mean, it's LinkedIn makes it easier, and I don't know what the difference is. Why some companies do it one way or the other. I suspect it's got to do with how much they're paying for the jobs, whatever. But I don't know. But the thing you got to do, the one thing I've learned to do, is follow up. I've given a tip once or twice where I've said, just apply for one job a day. Just apply for one job a day. For every job you apply for, find two people in the company that you're applying to that you can have a verbal, at least a verbal conversation with. And that becomes a full-time job, trying to find people like that. But usually when you see a job in LinkedIn and you can apply for it, it will also tell you who posted that job. That's when you go back and regardless of if you apply or not, click on that person's profile and try to network with them. Because again, remember, the battle we're fighting, and you're in transition, excuse me, the battle you're fighting is with the computers. They're trying to minimize the number of people that get through the wall. You're trying to jump over the wall. You're trying to talk to a real person. So connect with that real person. They're telling you right there who it is that's posting the job. So talk to that person, as best you can. Have a conversation with that person. Okay. That's the next. That's that little extra step that you need to do. Is apply for those jobs. Now, kind of off the subject. One thing I've learned, we always, I always say, make sure you post your resumes on Career Builder, Indeed, Simply Hired, Monster, Dice, The Ladders, all those places. And most people, or I would say a lot of people in transition, don't feel that those sites are useful. I've always felt like this about them. Better to have your resume out there and not need them than need them and not have it. I don't know what's happened in the last few years with those sites, but I will say this. I've gotten a lot of good activity off of sites like Monster. When I say good, I'm talking about not just insurance sales jobs. Because once you post your resume, you'll get a lot of jobs for 100% commission sales jobs in a variety of industries. But I've also had some serious conversations that have led to interviews and jobs from people seeing my resume on Monster and Career Builder and Indeed and Simply Hired and all those sites. So don't ignore them. Get your resume together, get it tight, and put it out there. You'll be surprised. I'm just, again, when I first started the show, the basic idea was those sites are, they're not really doing anybody any good. I think the percentage I heard way back when I was in job search back in 2010 was only about 5% of people get their jobs from those sites. And I always remember thinking, well, if you're one of that 5%, that's your 100%. So don't discount those sites. Don't discount using those sites. Get your resume tight and get it up on those sites. Nothing may come of it, but you know what? If you don't put your resume up there, nothing will come of it. So get your resume out there as well. Anyway, I kind of rambled. Apologize. I talked about LinkedIn more. We kind of rehashed some things. Hope you found it useful. My point, though, with LinkedIn is just like, when you're applying for a job on a company website, you don't want to blindly apply for the job and then it goes into a black hole. Well, LinkedIn can be a black hole as well if you don't follow up. The cool thing about LinkedIn, when you apply on a company's website, you really don't have anybody you can follow up with. When you apply for a job through LinkedIn, you have a name, you have the person. Even if it's an HR person, sometimes it's a hiring manager. But you have a person that is responsible for this job, responsible for whittling down the people in this job who will get interviews. You have the name, so use those names. As always, people, I truly appreciate your patience with me. I thank you. I thank you for listening. If you are listening on the website, feel free to subscribe in iTunes. And if you like the show, please leave feedback so others can find the show. And I truly appreciate it. If you do have a free Job Seeker Networking event coming up and you would like me to mention it on the show, please send it to me at Tyrone@bunnyslippersofevil.com. But just be aware that I may have to edit it for length or content. Again, if it's free, please send it to me. If it's not free, and I know that's a real bias, and I apologize, but I know what it's like when you're in transition and you don't have any money. And if you're going to charge me to go meet people, you got to guarantee me something. If you let me meet people for free, well, I know, and that's totally against all the industry networking events that are coming up. You know what? They're there. You can find them. I just feel like if I'm going to announce it to people here on the show, most of the people on the show that are listening, if they're in a situation that, I know of when I was in transition, you don't have a lot of money. And the worst thing is to spend 20 or 30 bucks on an hour or 2 hour meeting and come out of it with not any good prospects, any good people to talk to. So apologize for that bias, but it is what it is. And when you land, please don't forget us. Please visit the Cafe Press store on the website and buy a t-shirt, a water bottle, a coffee mug, a clock, or a sweatshirt, or something. So you'll have a memento of your time in transition. Trust me, people, I am not making a lot of money off this stuff, off the site. More so, I just want you to have something. When you're having those days when you're feeling like, you know what, I don't like this job. I'm about to leave. Maybe you'll look over and see a water bottle with this logo on it, and you'll go, you know what? Let me stick this out because I remember what it was like out there. So that's the real thing. I want you to have something to remember the show. Got about a minute left. As always, again, thank you. Check out the bunny tips, the 1 minute bunny tips. I mentioned them at the top of the show. I mentioned them again now. Check them out. They are, again, 1 minute, one topic for 1 minute. And trust me when I say it is harder to write those than it is to do this show sometimes. It is harder to do 1 minute on one topic. Not a minute and 5 seconds, 1 minute. I get it. It is harder to do that. If you could see the rehearsing for those 1 minute bunny tips, I'll get better. If you've seen any of them, you'll see me looking at my notes because you got to. So anyway, enough rambling. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. We're going to do this again next week. Have a good week, and we will talk to you again soon. Take care, and bye-bye.